What's up, YouTube? Today's video is a story time about my very first photo booth event. Because as chaotic as it was an amazing experience and a funny story that I want to share with everyone. However, before we get into it, I'm Event Rentals with Aaron, and I'll regularly be posting videos about my business, how-to tutorials, and story times just like this. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Now, let's get into the story. So I just finished booking my very first event and I am feeling like the man. I'm hyped, I'm excited, and I'm doing it for free. Yes, you heard that right. It was a free event that I was doing pro bono. Now, if you're just starting out in the business, this is a great tactic that could lead to future business. And I'll tell you how. Number one, you're actually in front of people. And if someone has a positive experience with your booth, they're going to want to take down your contact info, especially if they have something coming up. This was the case with me at this event, and I was able to get 2 paid bookings out of it. So I guess you could say it worked out. Reason number 2, it gives you the opportunity to take photos and videos for your marketing and social media. That's pretty self explanatory. And reason number 3, it gives you valuable experience. I am telling you, I am a believer that it's not until you are thrown into the fire that you actually do your learning, because live events are nothing like at home test runs. And I actually touch upon that as a lesson I learned in this video. So keep on watching. Now, let's actually get into the lessons I learned. So, lesson number 1, you need to set boundaries with the guests at the event. I'll tell you what happened. So it was a work gala where everyone was dressed up and they were really excited to take photos. I was doing a flower wall backdrop with a digital photo booth. And the thing about my firewall is it is 8 by 8 feet. And the moment I put it up, people ran to it. Like, I am telling you, people wanted solo shots, group shots. They wanted me to take photos. And because it was my first event, I was a bit of a people pleaser. And I was like, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, why not? And well, I will tell you why not. It cut into my setup time and it ultimately affected my ability to do my job. Seriously, everyone was crowding me. They were wanting photos. And once you start saying yes to someone, you feel like you got to say it to another person. Or if you say no, they're like, oh, but you let this person do it. It just turns into this whole thing. I actually ended up having to physically block off the area so I was able to set up, because I just had a line of people who wanted to take a photo with my flower wall. And if I have people constantly going into my space, I'm having a harder time setting up. So definitely set boundaries with your guests, because at the end of the day, you have a job to do and you need to do it. Lesson number 2, make sure you have a step-by-step process of how you're going to do your setup. Seriously, do yourself a favor and write it out. Be conscious and purposeful of what you're doing from your first step to your last step, and never deviate from it. I am telling you, when you have people in your ear, when you have people talking about, can I take a picture with your flower wall? When's your photo booth open? It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to miss steps. And that's a mistake that I personally made. So make sure you actually are purposeful when deciding how you're going to set up your photo booth. Because when everyone is around you, asking you questions, talking to you, having a guide that you are laser focused on is going to mean the world of difference. And lesson number 3, your live events are not going to be exactly like your test runs at home. So I just finished doing my setup. Everything's looking good. Now it's time for the test shot. And guess what? It's coming out yellow. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm sweating. I'm stressed. But then I realized something. I'm in a different environment with different lighting. Of course, the picture is going to come out different. So what I did is I went into the camera settings on my Photobooth software, which is Lumabooth, by the way, and I highly recommend them because it's a great app. Okay, if you want to check it out, go to the description of the video. I have a link to it there, and I swear I love it. Anyway, and I played with the ISO, the aperture, all this and that until I got everything to where I needed it to be, and the photos turned out great. but that was definitely a photo finish to set up in time. So just a quick recap, the 3 lessons I learned from my very first photo booth event. Number 1, set boundaries with guests. Number 2, always have a setup process that you follow to a T. And number 3, make sure you give yourself enough time for camera settings, because at the end of the day, the live event will go differently than your at-home test run. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe because I'll be posting regularly. Give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and if you're in the photo booth industry, comment down below what your experience was with your very first event. Did it go smooth? Did it go horribly wrong? What were the stressors that you dealt with? By the end of the day, this is the type of stuff that we go through as photo booth business operators, where it might be a little chaotic at first, but eventually we figure it out and it is smooth sailing from there. And as always, see you in the next one.